Welcome back, dear viewers, and you're still watching The Breakfast Show. And in this segment of our program, we will talk about the 15th BRICS Summit hosted by South Africa. It kicked off starting from the 22nd to the 24th of this month. Heads of states or governments of the 5 member states, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are taking part in the summit. And to shed more light on the importance of this summit, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Saleh, Professor of Political Economy and former advisor to the World Bank. Good morning.
Very good morning to you.
So, sir, can you tell us more about the importance of the 15th BRICS bloc countries meeting today and the topics that are expected to top their agenda?
Well, this is a very important summit. This is a very important summit because it comes in a very difficult time. You know that we're witnessing the war between Russia and Ukraine, a certain kind of depression on the world economy, a high rate of unemployment, increases of prices, instability in the world trade deals between countries. And that's why this summit that would unify around 33% of the countries that are responsible of its GDP, plus 50% of the international trade, which is a big block, knowing that Russia and China are really working hard to install what we can say a new economic order and a new era, I would say, for a global development. Lots of countries, as you may know, have not only Brazil, China, India, and South Africa, but lots of countries have requested to be part of this new organization. And I think what's really important in the BRICS summit of Johannesburg is that it's going to be a beginning for a new era of development, technical assistance. We've heard that Gulf countries have admitted their willingness to be part of this organization. The UAE is going to be a part of a new bank, a new development bank for these countries, which is really interested for developing countries to get loans, to get technical assistance. And that's why this summit in South Africa is important not only to design a new era, but also to try to design policy measures for economic development in the world.
Yes, so sir, how important is the BRICS bloc and its impact on geopolitics, security issues, finance, and economy?
Yeah, this is an important question. You know that technical assistance is one of the issue that is going to be one of the targets of this organization, but also international trade, in terms of trying to empower less developing countries, SMEs. Reinforce the role of women, you know, after the COVID-19 and the global restrictions. Lots of countries, especially less developed countries, have suffered from the consequences. So it's now time to try to give a push to economic sectors in less developed countries, and especially in the south. And that's why, by the way, the BRICS summit is being held in South Africa. And talking about Africa, I think the importance of being held in Africa would bring lots of not only economic power but political power, because I think that, as you may know, China and Russia needs political support because of the actions that have been taken by Europe and especially by the United States. There was a meeting 2 days ago between the United States, South Korea, and Japan, and China did not welcome this meeting. So not only economic cooperation, but I think that political cooperation is going to be one of the important targets for this organization.
Yes. So, Dr. Amr, what is your opinion in the file of the common currency, which is at the forefront of the Assembly's discussions?
I think that there's a very big common ground on expanding the BRICS and creating emerging market bloc. This summit regrouping other countries such as not only China but also Brazil, Russia, India in Johannesburg. South Africa and China have and the countries that have participated have similar views. We heard that there are differences between those countries, but I think that any differences between those countries will not be an impediment. I think they have similar views, and that's why they have gathered and published a common communique. And if you read it, you find that there are words that show strength and strategic cooperation to promote the representation of countries in the global south, as the Chinese have said. The Brazilian President Lula da Silva and the Indian Prime Minister and other leaders were there with their government people, hoping the expansion of this idea and this vision to lead development in less developing countries. Mr. Putin had also addressed to the summit. He was talking by video, saying that the dollarization was a process that was agreed by all the countries, and it was not. It's not against any country, but it's a irreversible process. He talked about sanctions, Western sanctions, freezing Russia, and that's why I think that having Russia and China and all those countries, especially India and Brazil, is imposing and proposing a common and a new ground for cooperation between the countries, between the developing countries. Talking about the financial, your question was about the financial status and this new order. Yes, I think that this is a courageous step in order to create a balance in the world economy and in the international trade. Yeah, it's going to be a very important step taken. Let's see what the other summits, the next summits will bring. But I think, in my opinion, that having those members and those countries gathered to approve economic strategies is really important nowadays.
So, Dr. Amr, to what extent the BRICS member states are determined to expand the membership and include new countries, affect them, especially since many African and Arab countries have expressed their desire to join the bloc?
That's true. That's what I was saying, that we've seen important countries, especially Gulf countries and Egypt, expressing their willingness to be a part of this group. And we've seen an internalization of the agenda. We've seen expansion of, and we're talking about the creation, not the expansion. Maybe there's going to be an expansion later. We're talking about, and this is really important, about the a currency for this country. One of the things that are interesting is that those countries have already begun. Some of the countries have begun to deal with the local currency. I think some deals have been made between Russia, India, and the United Arab Emirates. They're using the local currency. So the idea is already there. But expanding this idea between important countries such as China, Brazil, Russia, and India, and other also countries, the countries, the Gulf countries, is going to be an important move to create a new economic order in the world.
Yes. Also, how do you see the impacts of Egypt's accession to this bloc on the national economy if it expresses its desire to join?
Well, Egypt has expressed its desire to be a part. Lots of observers have said that this is going to be an important step and a door also for members countries to be in Africa. Egypt is very important for the African. Seen Egypt during the last years. President Fattah Sisi leading summits targeting the development in Africa. Summits with China, with Russia, with Japan, with Germany. So Egypt is a really important player in the development in Africa.
Yes.
Egypt is going to be an asset for the African countries. Egypt is going to be an asset for the development of the African countries within the BRICS. And Egypt is going to be an important part for countries such as Russia, China, India, in order to penetrate the African market through Egypt's cooperation, Egypt's political and economic weight.
Yes, Dr. Amr Saleh, Professor of Political Economy and former advisor to the World Bank. Thank you for being with us, and give viewers a short break and we'll be back.